All right, boys and girls, we're doing another kind of like a tour.
Take the next right at 84th Avenue, then turn right.
Yeah, a friend picked me up in his Mercedes. No, hold on, Dodge minivan. We're just driving around. I was here this morning, if you remember. I was marveling at this humongous Kenworth dealer. Probably, I don't know, 5 acres or something. And that truck, what is, I keep forgetting, it's called like C800 or C900 or something. Yeah, this Kenworth. And it's getting a bit dark. But yeah, this one. Lots of interesting trucks over here. And then Aspen is just down the road, right?
Yeah, we're going to turn and we're going to go back.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, we'll go up this way and then we'll loop around. Kind of show different areas of Nisku.
Yeah, and I parked there, you know, like this morning, because I didn't know where to park. You see, that's Aspen, right? So I parked. You can park in here. You can go right on the ground over there. Now look on the right. There's kind of like a lot in there.
Yeah.
And
it's a big facility, isn't it?
yeah, and you see that sign? Stock trailers available. Call. That's kind of funny. That means that they make trailers not just for order, but they make them, you know, just in case. And all the trailers over there, they were all, you know, 3x2, 3 and 2, 3 and 3.
Yeah. But like, look at some of these companies, right? Like this Champion. They got tons of trucks, you know, like chemical company, right?
Okay. But you were saying the point of this little tour is that you were saying lots of places are closed.
Well, like, see, this normally would be like, all this equipment wouldn't be here because they're so busy, right? So this would all be empty yards because they're so busy with stuff gone out into the oil field. Because right now they should be ramping up because it's getting cold again to depart. But a lot of these places are either empty. This is Sunbelt Rentals that they just moved in there not too long ago. But the whole point is just kind of show, you know, this is, you'll see there's some big operations, some smaller operations, but there's some places for lease. And I haven't looked around here in a while myself. But all these welding shops, like look how many containers of welding, you know, stuff is here, right? Well, this is a massive company, Baker Hughes. They're huge.
What do they do?
Oil and gas.
Okay.
They do explorations. They have multiple divisions. Actually, I'm going to switch here. So this will be like what they call like the entrance to the Leduc business.
Leduc Business Park.
Yeah.
And so see, there's land for sale.
See, like there's all kinds of companies here, from, you know, Wagoner Rentals. So they would do all kinds of. Again, it's just, this thing is just a big grid. I can go on, like here's drilling tool companies, right?
Just remember, my camera is looking this way.
Okay.
Because you said you didn't want FBI to identify you.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Well, for the record, we're in Canada, so FBI has no jurisdiction here.
No.
What do we call instead of FBI? I think that's some kind
This
of...
must be a big oil field company here. See, I never spent enough Bruno's.
Yeah, lots of...
See, Can West is another, like their concrete company. JAK Equipment would be related to equipment, obviously. And then this is like...
Yeah, that's the oil company.
Yeah. But there's lots. See, those are called, which you don't see a lot in Ontario. We'll just back up a little bit here. This is what we call, when you hear the terminology in oil, live roll. A live roll. So that's a 53 high boy triaxle, but look at the back. In Ontario, you don't see those. That's a live roll. And so the intent behind that is...
Yeah, they can pick up like that container, the white container.
Yeah, exactly. And then those ones, so once they get the winch on, it just pops up, and then they go across, and then they can use the same truck. They put those pipe racks, and then they can haul pipe.
No, I remember I was in Saskatchewan talking to a trailer dealer, and
see, Baker. Sorry to interrupt, but Baker Hughes was back there, and see they have another division here. Like you'll see that with a lot of the companies, they'll have multiple locations.
So basically, it's all industrial.
Everything here is industrial, and you know,
But is this still Leduc or is it already Nisku?
There is a split. I couldn't tell you exactly where the split is, but there's a spot where it's Nisku and there's this part of it is Leduc.
Oh, okay.
And part of the reason that it's interesting is taxes. It comes down to taxes because there are some parts, like every time a company, like say they're a fabrication shop and they bring a new machine in, they're supposed to pay taxes, extra taxes on that. So there's different things that do. And say like that's a massive company. Like look at the size of that building there. Varsteel.
Varsteel, okay.
So they're going to be huge.
There's another piece of land for sale here. One acre.
See, this company says Summit ESP, but the key here to understand to look underneath. Halliburton Service. So Halliburton, if anyone knows the word Halliburton, that is a massive company. And that's the service division for that. And then, see, they've got these racks, which would be for, it's actually quite busy here, surprisingly. Like, so another oil field company, Onyx there.
What is this place with all these cranes?
Well, I'm not sure.
Only 2 cranes. See, it looks empty. So basically,
well, it's basically
what you were
empty.
saying that if it's empty.
Yeah, see, look at the front end. This whole office, this is empty. This was some other place, but look at it. It's there. Like they left the crane there, but the door's open. You can see the office is pretty much empty.
No, but it's already 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, but it's empty as far as it's not really being used. But maybe it is. Can you look at the size of that crane? So they had, oh, there is the service base. So it's kind of being used to.
Here's another piece of land. What is it? 70,000 square feet. Oh, it's for lease.
Yeah.
Lease. But do they have this in oh, I know this.
Do you know what these are?
Yeah, I hold these a couple of
They're
times.
called rig mats.
Yeah.
And they're used in they have, see, there's steel ones and then they have the wood ones. So they're very, very heavy.
Yeah.
And the way it's really funny, hopefully we'll come across it. Okay, this company here, when you talk about, you're complaining about the rounder trip, well, that's the center, little guy oil field renters. And then if we come across Johnny's, if we see Johnny's, they have a shop here too. They're another company that will do, see, like oil field stuff, right? Look at that, with all-terrain tires, you know, designed to be way out in the tundra. Lots of chemical type stuff for oil field stuff, right? Like all these tanks, these rubber, you know, these tanks. Lots of safety stuff because you always see the muster signs. To no degree, that's for sure.
Yeah, lots of vacant land.
I mean, there's office here, offices.
But
there.
any idea what it costs over here? Like a field like this? Probably, I don't know, 20 acres over here?
Oh, that'd be several millions of
for
dollars.
sale, 2.6 to 9.2 acres industrial land.
Now, we could look up on the internet, and I know that we'll see. Oh, here's a nice truck. It's only tandem. What's he got here, Sergei? You can.
No, I see it has multiple wheels on the back.
Yeah.
You see it has 8 tires on each wheel. So we cut a nice truck.
But so when it has 8 wheels like that, does that help them? How much more can they take on their wheel axles? That what it does? It just gives them more strength.
No, but 8 wheels, you know, like where a regular axle has 4 wheels, right? So 8 wheels means that truck, that trailer, can take as much as a 4-axle trailer.
Right.
Which, you know, you cannot have a 4-axle trailer.
And so that's be shorter. So,
yeah, and so he's shorter, but I don't know how
So do you know? Let's see if we guess. I know what this is, but would you know what this is? Guesstimate. What kind of company is this?
Oh, they made racking, I think.
No, scaffolding.
Oh, scaffolding.
Right.
Okay,
See how they build racking, scaffolding. That's what all that bundles are. And scaffolding is.
I hold this on flatbeds.
Yeah. You know how fun that is.
Yeah.
Not very fun.
Takes a lot of time to load.
Yeah. Lots of straps.
Yeah, lots of straps, lots of chains.
Yeah. Oh, let's see some interesting stuff over here to the left. And I want to get over to this rig disturber. You see, this is the newer part of. Well, maybe it comes to a dead end here. Oh.
Yeah, there was a sign, turn around.
Yeah. But again, lots of land still in this area. Surprisingly, how busy it is. But we haven't even touched the surface. In fact,
I see. Hold on, wait. You see, it says 1 to 25 acres available.
yeah. So this whole area is going to be subdivided like that.
Yeah, the orange color is occupied. Blue is still available.
Let's go to
For lease, sale, and build to suit. Yeah. And interestingly, there's no trees. You see, like it's already like this, so it's just this low grass, right? So it's pretty much ready for building. So this is the end of Leduc, I'm guessing, right?
Well, not necessarily. I'm going to follow this one. I don't know exactly how to get here, so we're going to have to hear Google telling us. That's what I meant to take you there. They built all these offices in the midst of the boom, and then it all closed down. So this will be a big, another Vertex is another oil company.
I know this company, Fix Auto.
Yeah.
We have one in Ontario. They do like I had repair, you know, under insurance.
Yeah.
And they sent me to these guys.
So this would be some kind of construction aggregate, right? With the
Conveyors, crushers, screeners, house financing. Oh, so it's some kind of a dealer. Sells equipment.
So now actually we kind of made a semi-loop back because we are back towards the edge of Leduc. And this is like a food processing facility in Leduc. So this is the edge of Leduc because this is going to be where the next set of lights would be the McDonald's that you were at in the morning. And this is just a UFA.
Because
so
airport is that way, yeah. Like.
So maybe tells us to turn right, but let's take this way. And we'll go this way. Cratex, another again, this big chemical company.
So you're pretty busy over here.
Yeah, there is, and still land to be around. Like Flowserve is another big oil field company, but you know there's still land to be developed, they built up a lot of offices that actually never got leased out or rented out, so there's a lot of vacancies. Coming up here is another big company because this is, remember I showed you Baker Hughes? Well, here's another side. Look at the size. Like they got cable reels, a variety of things they do from oil and gas and cable.
Yeah, so the same Baker Hughes.
And Zedcor would be, they'll do these structures. They build these buildings for camps. And then Brentec, they have another plant, like they're over there, and they're also over here. So some of these places, like I said, often they'll have multiple locations.
We have something big over there.
Another
like
big,
all these huge containers or whatever.
This is another Baker Hughes plant. This will be something specific to oil, and they got a rail line there, a rail spur in there. It's called.
This is logistics, SKS Logistics.
Yeah. Another trucking company is got a little bit of an equipment dealer here. And this is kind of back to, we kind of came a little bit. Oh yeah, Valen. We came down this road a little bit at the beginning. See, Baker Hughes has a lot of their own trucks as well. Tankers. Never seen this company, but obviously they've been there for a little bit. What's this? Some kind of logistics I see on the side.
This Zurich.
Zurich.
Hilton. What are these things? Probably some kind
That's
of.
oil. Those are part of like drilling. So they they get them out in the field and they build them up. It becomes how that's like I think they call it the house, like the base part of the house, and then it gets built up around the oil well site. So we're back to Aspen, and then we're going to go to this PCL.
Oh, so we're going south, right?
Yeah. No, this is north right now. Because if I put this on here, we should be going in the north. Yeah, so we're driving.
So
north.
that's Aspen on the right again, with the brand new trailers. We're back to Kenworth. So we were going this way. Now we came back.
Well, we're going further north into Nisku. We're going to go to this PCL. The oil came down last year. This is what got hit. These were the businesses, like there were so many businesses like all in a row, for lease.
Yeah, we just pressed a bunch of signs for lease, and then over here you have also, what is this? Office space. Yeah.
And
but when did this happen? Back?
Well, it would have been 2 years ago. So what's that? 19, I guess, when it started. When the oil price kind of crumbled. So now this is another. Okay, we talked about Baker Hughes, and then NOV. Weatherford is the other big oil field company in this area, and Halliburton. And and Wajax, like these are all, like Halliburton is massive. They're a huge company.
I know these guys.
There's multiple divisions. And Wajax.
I hold the equipment a couple of times.
But Halliburton's got different divisions. Like they got their drilling division, and they've got their parts divisions. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. This company is a good place to get some trucking parts and supplies.
Yeah, I know these guys. Yeah, I saw them in.
I'm just gonna let this guy pass.
Edmonton or Calgary somewhere. Here's another sign for lease by owner.
Strange they put a reefer there. Oh, I guess it's not working. So.
Are we going? Which way are we going now?
We're going north.
North?
We're going towards this. There's some big PCL, which is this is National Oilville NOV's yard, full of pipes and parts for oil, gas. And again, more land for lease and availability. So it's, you know, the thing about Nisku is that all the activity of oil and gas in Alberta happens in Grand Prairie. Fox Creek is a big oil area. Even around here, Devon, Calmar, you'll see oil rigs set up. Down by Edson, Hinton is oil rigs. Fort McMurray is oil sands, some oil rigs. Out by St. Paul, like there's oil rigs all around Alberta, but Nisku is the hub as far as where all the fabrication, when they need parts for their drill rigs, they need parts for their machinery. Companies are doing this, and they also fabricate things that get brought to sites. They're fabricating buildings and, you know, selling pipe. They load the pipe here. We haven't driven by it yet, but there's quite a few pipe yards. So now we're going to start to see. So this is an interesting thing. So what's the terminology I'm thinking of? So this, what's the term of a gantry crane? So this is a gantry crane, and it looks all closed in here. But if you were watching this when this was be opened, this entrance where bay 14 doors would slide open, and that clear piece will raise up, and then they have the big gantries so that the trucks can come in and they can slide this stuff they're fabricating inside and set it right on the flatbed. So that's why it set up those big I-beams, and you can see it's got rail systems. So it's pretty cool to see how they're able to fabricate inside a big building, and then they just use their machine inside, and then they lower it onto the trucks.
So that whole window?
That whole window opens up. Those doors open up, bay 14, slide to the right, slide to the left, and that whole glass top opens, and then they got a machine like you've probably seen them in some of the factories, and they can slide a big huge vessel or something they're producing, and they can slide it out and set it right on the truck. The truck just backs and they can set it down. And if you look to the right here, we'll see our first pipeline. So this is the kind of stuff. So
lots of pipe.
So pipe. Interesting story that people may not know about how pipe works, especially in Nisku. So this is lots and lots of, this is drill pipe for the oil field. This is the true heart and soul of oil and gas. But what happens is all these companies, often when you come to a place like this, two things. One, you think that this is one company, but often this is a pipe storage yard. So multiple oil companies store their pipe here. So they're paying rent to just store the pipe. Now, small oil companies, when during the peak of the oil season, when they're drilling, they need pipe. They might need 5,000 feet of this pipe, linear distance, or 10,000 feet of pipe that they attach. Each of these get attached and they get drilled into the earth. And there's a price to that. So all these companies on a daily basis, just like trucking, how you negotiate, well, they negotiate pricing on the pipe. Sometimes the companies will say, well, we're pretty busy, let's not lower our price today. Someone else bids low and they take it, they sell it low. And they do this, and all of a sudden they're saying, hey, you know what? There's a bid for 15,000 feet for this company. You know what? Let's put this low bid in here and offer it to them at this low price, and we'll get the deal. And then, so it's very interesting, the things that happen behind the scenes for the oil and gas world with the negotiations. Pretty interesting.
This was for sale as well, now sold.
So we'll see some more. This is going to be, we're going to drive by two places that'd be interesting. This is, okay, Lafarge. So they're another big, massive, that's a sled. See how it's a sled? Because it's got that, you know, the idea is it can be dragged. So it's for oil and gas. They take the winch and they hang the cables and they can hook it around the back of those, and they'll actually store pipe in this. So that's a cage for storing the pipe at sites. And then what they can do is, if it's loaded up, they can have a winch truck, that live roll truck that we saw earlier, they pull out the winch, they hook up the straps to it, the cables to it, and then they can winch it onto the live roll and then pull it from here to the site and then from one site to the next site. So that's like a oil pipe storage thing. And we're going to go by PCL and Jayco. Jayco produces, or Trinidad, like that's where this is all oil and gas buildings. Like this would be powerhouses to run the oil rigs.
Oh, what do they have inside? Like transformers? Or something?
Yeah, like something like it's basically. I've never been a person like a massive oil expert, but I know the basics. But that would be one of the units that they need to have the power to actually run the drills. There's an industrial coating company there. There's a couple of them, and what they are.
And this is another pipe yard, right?
So when they do, this would be another pipe yard. So when they have coatings, yeah, see that's where the sled is. They'll put the power units on there and then they can just slide it around. See, it allows them to transport stuff. So that sled is so that they can easily move them around. Like instead of just having it all over the place, they can just set it on the sled and then use trucks to move around. So now we're getting to where we see, you know, look at some of the big stuff here. And again, they have gantry cranes here so that you can lift it up and move it and pick them up and then set them onto things.
So that's PCL? Cool.
No, this isn't PCL yet. This is.
No, I think there was a sign there.
Is that what it said? PCL?
Yeah.
Oh, if it was, this is where I guess where we're trying to get to. So, this was one of the places because they got a big fabrication place.
So I'm guessing they make pipes here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see PCL. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll produce this. This is where they make the pipes, and then they'll use this to make it other things. But yeah, they do a combination. They make the pipes and. Let's see here. So yeah, so we're here at this one. I want to see Jacob.
No, it's okay. Yeah, guys, there's an example. See, here's working that gantry crane with the top of the building open, and that's how they load. So the trailer can be backed in right inside the building, and then they would use this gantry crane to load the stuff.
Or outside, but see, this is called the coatings place, and. So you see how it's being, there's a big platform inside that shop, and it's being coated. So the idea is one of these fabricators here, Nisku, is actually building it. They ship it over here to one of these places. This place will sandblast it and coat it so it keeps it better for the elements. And then once it's done, then it gets brought back to the original manufacturer, and they're going to continue adding parts to it and building stuff to it. So it's all part of the process. In fact, like here's the example. So one of these companies here in Nisku built this pipe. They brought these over here to get sandblasted and coated. And we see a bunch in the back there actually. If you can catch that, Sergei. Those ones that are upright. See, they're all kind of those ones on the trailers.
Yeah, those silver ones. Yeah, but they're pretty fast, so the camera is not
gonna catch it. But yeah, so that's an interesting. You know, that's one of the processes that happens in the oil field. Is not one of these companies don't necessarily do everything. They start it, they sub out some of the work, they bring it back, and so we're going to come up to here, and we're going to see in just a second here. This is a big company, Cratex. What they're actually owned. Who bought them out? There's a company that bought them out. I think Mullen or someone like that. But Cratex, what they do is they palletize things specialized for ocean freight, air freight, things of that nature. And this is it here. This is look at the size of this facility. It's going to be hard in your camera, but at least you get the name of it. PCL, Center of Modular Excellence. So they build massive modulars for the oil field. Big structures, and that's why it's such a big place. They got tons of parking, and they got these
this is for trucks to come in or something?
No, that's for building big structures. See, they build these big structures at the back, and they use all that land to build these big, massive structures. Yeah, it's quite the...
any idea what PCL stand for?
Yeah, it's a big construction company, and they're all over.
Peter Stalenhof. But you know, it says Peter Stalenhof, but there's no S in the name. It's P, maybe Peter, but CL.
Oil field thing. So the derrick, like they've got. It's hard to see. Let's see if it shows it here, because when we drove by it earlier, those like that white piece there. Yeah, it's not really showing, but the idea is that, let's see, maybe this one. Part of that would pop up upright so they can drill. So this is like see, it's on a trailer. It's actually a pulled trailer. So this is a portable drill rig. Look at the size of the boom, and that's
Oh yeah, on its own trailer.
it's on its own trailer, and they just get there, and then they can set it up. You can see the hydraulics with the pulley systems can elevate that whole thing upright, and then they have all these pieces that all merge together, and it turns it into a drill rig. So this is a different style, but it's they pull the whole thing.
Oh, it's Frank's. It's the same sandblasting.
Yeah.
Plant number 5.
Yeah, so as I said, they all have multiple places. Like, you'd think, why not just have one place? But they got multiple, because each one will be specialized on different ones. Okay, it's just straight ahead. For lease again. Now we're back to
People are gonna be complaining about the length of this video. They were complaining about my picturesque drive through British Columbia, and now we're showing them pipes and gantry cranes. I can see people falling asleep as we, but maybe not. Maybe there's some crazy guys out there.
Well, this Monday is the controversial topic that's going to be on our municipal election in Alberta. Here we have a municipal election, and one of the votes is talking about equalization payments. And back in the day when things were booming, Alberta was, through our oil that we have in Canada, we have an agreement that oil was split up. It's controversial. Some agree with it, some disagree with it. But
what do you mean split up?
Well, it's an equalization payment. So when Alberta was making a lot of money from oil and other provinces weren't, we split that money. We shared that money across the country. And some people feel that Alberta should keep more, and we're giving too much away. And in fact, it was Trudeau's father that brought that in. So it was what did they call it? National oil reform, but it's a controversial topic amongst people. So this may be boring to some as far as seeing all this equipment, but this is the equipment, and these are the places that generated all the oil and gas money in this province, and it's helped all of Canada at the end of the day. So this is where it's all at, boring or not. The whole idea of this, I think, is to pinpoint is that Nisku is a roller coaster. There's years where this place is bustling. It is bustling. Where they're short staffed. If you're semi-qualified, you are hired. And if but then there's times when it busts and the oil prices drop. Well, all of a sudden, then your people are starving just to keep their businesses alive. And then a year later, they go from laying off their staff to 6 months later, everyone's working overtime and working every weekend.
Meters, your destination will be on the right.
So we're coming up here. Oh yeah, so Jayco's right here. So Jayco is a big fabrication place, and they do contract work. And the idea is that they got this side, and I think they got 2 sides. Yeah, they got both sides. And basically, they they advertise what they're hiring.
Your destination is on the right.
They're hiring for welders, fitters, lubricators, machinists, drafters, right?
No, drafters, no.
No. But that's the list of jobs that
welders, fitters, and machinists.
So this company is a big company. They get contracts, and they either build things, fabricate them to the specs of the customer. They got a drafting team, engineers on board, and then they take the specs, and then they have their welders, and they come up with a cost to build all the stuff. And if they get the job, well, that's how they keep their staff busy. They assign so many hours to the job, because I've got some friends that work here, and they've had a good career, and it's a big place. They actually had a big fire 2 years ago, so it was pretty kind of devastating for the business, but they've recovered now. But yeah, I just wanted to show, there's a lot of big business here, a lot of big dollars. And unfortunately, it's not a consistent business, because it's seasonal, And Fabutech is also owned by the same company. It's another division, and they do things. So there's, again, it's understanding how there's so many different businesses, but mainly the boom and bust of the oil industry. And anyone that's worked in it or has friends that's worked in it will attest on the highs and lows of oil and gas compared to other industries.